Hello, travelers. I think today is the new moon. I'm not sure what's going on. I know it's been a hot minute since you've heard from me. I would like to wish all of the Aries happy birthday. We're moving into the Aries season. This is going to be a general reading, so it is not for any specific sign or any specific timeline. I'm going to start the individual monthlies. Those are going to be over on the website. If you haven't gone over to the website and taken a look, please do. There is membership. There are 3 membership options. You get access to the individual monthly tarot card readings. You get 2 free natal birthday charts. There's astrology. There's astrology prediction. There's ebooks. There's all articles. There's all kinds of things. So go over and take a look. You can click on the little eye there in the corner, and that'll take you directly over to the website. If you'd like to get a personal reading with me, if it's a phone reading, there's a tab that says readings by phone. There's also one that says important information on booking. So if this is only for phone reading, so before you submit payment or the booking form, and you have to do both, and it's a 2-step process. You can fill out the booking form first and click send, and don't hit the go back button. It's just something with the form, I don't know. Or you can make the payment first and then come back and submit the booking form, but I need both of those. Please read the important information on booking before doing either of those things, though. If it is a video reading that you'd like, there's a tab for that, and that is self-explanatory. In terms of the memberships, there's a 30-day membership for $7, 6 months for $28, that's recurring, and $50 for the year, that's also recurring. So if you don't want to do 6 months, or if you don't want to do a year, you can do 7 months, try it out, see if you like. If you don't have to join again. But you still get your 2 free charts, okay? I've been very, very busy. I'm working on the syllabus for the tarot classes. They are coming, people. But I had to stop and put up an asteroid ebook for the astrology. And I got to go back. I finished it yesterday. God, that was a labor of love. And I finished it yesterday, but I forgot to put the conclusion at the bottom. So I'm going to have to go back and put the conclusion in. And so those of you who have been sticking with me, thank you so much. Y'all know that I lost my astrology software crash. Then my computer didn't want to work. So Mercury retrograde is up on us. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get to the reading. Again, as I say, this is a general reading, and the messages will not resonate with everyone. It's not for any specific sign and or time frame. Please take what you can. Disregard what you cannot. As I tell anybody, whatever I tell you I see in the cards, it's not set in stone. Everybody has free will. In other words, depending upon your actions or reactions, or the actions or reactions of the people that you're dealing with, might alter the outcome. However, if you change your mindset, you can alter your behavior. And by altering your behavior, you can alter the situation. So I have the Sibyllus here with me. I also have the angel answer cards. More than likely, my plan was to come and do an open reading every Wednesday and one again on Friday. And I've been so behind on work. I was sick for an entire week. I'm just now getting back to normal. So I'm going to try to go ahead and get that done and try to stick to that schedule. So this is why you guys haven't been hearing from me a lot. I've just been busy. And somebody came over to the site and said, well, I've got some transits going on, and I didn't want to bother you because I know you're busy. No, please don't look at it that way. I do this work because I do wish to help empower people, or help people to empower themselves. So, even if, come over and tell me what your factors are, tell me what your challenge is. I may not answer right away, but trust me, I will answer. That's the whole purpose of me bringing this new thing to you. So please don't think that I'm too busy to answer, because that's completely contrary to what I'm doing. Although I appreciate that. You can join the Facebook group. There's a link to the Facebook group in the About box section. I do have to approve you. We do games every once in a while, and I'll post up, other readings there. So, all right, let's get started. We did have one card that flew out as I was shuffling. We have the Six of Swords, okay? Let's lay the rest of the cards. You can do a 9-card spread. The Magician. The Eight of Cups. The Hanged Man. I don't know how long. Y'all who've been with me for a long time, I used to hate the Hangman, but he serves a purpose. I have since come to, he's still not my favorite, but I have since come to appreciate the energy of the Hanged Man. The Strength card. The Page of Pentacles. The Four of Wands. The Two of Swords. And the Page of Swords. What do I have underneath? Well, it is the Wheel of Fortune, people. Okay, now, for those of you who are new to tarot or don't know a lot about tarot or kind of dabble in it, the cards, the deck is broken into two distinct separate groups. We have what are known as the Major Arcana cards, and these are our spiritual lessons and our life lessons, okay? And then we have what are known as the pip cards or the numbered cards. They also include the court cards. So our Major Arcana cards would be the Magician, the Hanged Man, the Strength card, and the Wheel of Fortune. The pip cards are going to be our Six of Swords, our Eight of Cups, our Four of Wands, and our Two of Swords. Now, interestingly, we have two court cards here. We have the Page of Pentacles, and we have the Page of Swords. Okay? Now, in the tarot, the Major Arcana cards hold more weight than the pip cards and or the court cards, okay? In other words, even if there were only one Major Arcana in this spread, that card would hold more sway and more, because that is our life lesson and our spiritual lesson. In order for us to evolve as humans, both on the spiritual plane and the physical plane, we have to learn lessons. It sucks that way, because life is such that it will give you the test or, before you get the answers. Okay. And so you got to kind of go through whatever that trial or tribulation is. Okay. And then on the backside of that, you get the answers. Okay. That's the lesson. How do I go from, a pop quiz to getting the real answers? Okay. That's called doorstep realization. It is doing, going through crap and then getting the wisdom on the backside. That's called doorstep. Okay. So I have 1, 2, 3 Major Arcana in the spread itself. I have 2 repeater numbers. Actually, I have the 2 repeater numbers are the 2 8s, which is the 8 of Cups, and the Strength card, which is number 8. Now, 2 8s, there are 2 interpretations of 2 8s. The number itself. 8s are kind of like you've gotten over the hurdle, the hardest part of the test, okay? And you're now kind of moving into the home stretch. So it is about having overcome obstacles, but you're still not there yet, because the way that the tarot is numbered, it's numbered from, the pip cards go from 1, which are aces, to the number 10. And the number 10 means it's a completion of a cycle. Now, in the Major Arcana cards, the Major Arcana cards are numbered from 0 to 21. but there are 22 cards. Okay, the zero is not counted, but there are 22 cards. So 2 8s in a reading can speak to um, obstacles, hassles, delays, setbacks. Okay, in other words, like I said, you're in the home stretch. You've gotten over the hardest part of it, but there's still a few challenges that you have left to do. The other message of 2 8s is you will receive news that will change the relationship. Now, we're not going to read this as strictly a romantic relationship. That's going to be any relationship in which you're finding you're having a challenge in, and this is up to and including, most importantly, the relationship you have with yourself. Okay, and then I have 2 pages here. Now, pages typically bring news and they bring messages. They are new energies, new elements being introduced into a situation. Okay. Now, across the top row, the 6 of Swords, the Magician, and the 8 of Cups. And that to me is a very, very odd line. The way the cards are read are past, present, future, and then the interplay of the cards. Now, the suit of swords represent thoughts, beliefs, ideas, concepts, perceptions, communication. Okay. The cups represent emotions. The coins represent not only finances, but the physical plane and the practicality of doing something, the physicality or the practicality of doing something. And then we have the wands. And the wands are about our motivations, okay? And I kind of liken the wands to cups because motivation and ambition requires some kind of passion. It requires some kind of emotion behind it, all right? In order to go out and get something, you've got to have that passion and that fire, that drive, and that motivation to get out there and do it, okay? The wands typically relate to work, our work and career. I don't like to leave those wands in that particularly very, very narrow window because really it's just about, if you get up and go to work every day, there are some days we get up and we don't feel motivated to go do it, but we know we got bills to pay, right? So we got to get up, we got to do it. So we dig down and we get that and we just go ahead and we do it. So this odd line at the top, the 6 of Swords, the Magician, and the 8 of Cups. Now, the Magician is interesting because he has one of everything in front of him. In other words, on the table in front of him, laid out before him, is a cup, a pentacle, an ace, and a wand. In effect, it is like he's got all 4 aces laying on the table in front of him, okay? So that means that he really can, if he really puts his mind to it, can create whatever it is that he chooses to create. This is why we have him the as above, so below. What you think, you create, okay? Nothing in this world came into being without first being a thought. Be this a car, a cup, be it a book. Even if there's a bad situation, we think about these things and they come into creation. Now, notice that he has the lemon ascot over the top of his head, which is really the 8 lying on its side. Okay, that's really what it is. That is a symbol of infinity. And so it is about maintaining the flow of your thoughts, keeping them in a particular balance, not swaying one way too much or the other way. Okay. And the Magician is really able to create things from his own reality, from his own mind power. You don't have to live anyone else's reality. You can create your own reality. Okay. And if that reality works for you, then it works for you. So don't be upset if somebody else doesn't join in your reality. We have in the 6 of Swords, we have 3 people in a boat. They are being ferried, 2 people in a boat, being ferried across this expanse of water by one person. Now, I have seen this to mean that this could be like a relationship, but it can also be that person in the boat can also be a representation of the universe trying to steer you. This is about going from a bad situation to a better situation. This is about either moving away, really moving away, physically moving away, and or psychologically moving away from a troublesome situation. It is about going from troubled waters to calmer waters. And the message of the card is you may have gone through that bad time right now, but once you can get through that and onto the other side, you know, you're going to think, wow, what a journey that was. So I'm kind of, the thing about the Six of Swords is that there are six swords at rest in the boat, and they're kind of like a fence protecting this woman and this child. Okay, and this might be a female and a child. This could be yourself and your inner child. You know, you can look at this card in many, many different ways. But the idea for me as a reader behind these six swords being in the boat is that even though, you know, you're moving away from a situation, you are still taking your thoughts with you. Okay, those are things that you cannot leave behind. You cannot. Buddha says that you know, the real enemy, you can never escape the real enemy, because the real enemy is your mind. It is your ego. It is your thoughts. And so wherever you go, there's your enemy. So this is about being conscious of the fact that even though you may be passing through a bad situation, in whatever manner that means for you, you know, it is how you think about this when you get to the other side that it's going to make all the difference. And I feel that this is why the Magician has come up. Now, the Magician also represents the sign of Mercury, and Mercury has gone, it's going into retrograde, I think, into Taurus. And as anybody who knows, Mercury retrograde, Mercury is a trickster, and Mercury can, right now, things are going to be slowing down. So your speech may slow down. Your thoughts may slow down. Things may go on the fritz. You may have tried to move forward with some project that you know, that you had your hopes, or that you think is really going to move you on to the next level. And then here comes this thinking Mercury, the Magician, who plays a trick on you and says, wait a minute, not yet. And in one respect, I feel this is true, because here's the Eight of Cups. Now, the Eight of Cups is the card about not being spiritually at peace. This could be about having all of the things that you really want, or all of the things that have made you feel, but there's still, you feel that there's something missing. What strikes me the most, and I say this every time I read and this card comes up, is that this person walks away from everything that they care about in the middle of the night. They don't take a bag. They don't take their belongings. They simply put on their cloak. They get their little walking staff and they beat a path out of there. Okay. Now, this is the only eclipsed moon in the tarot. So to me, this could be about someone trying to move forward and suddenly realizing, or that the situation that they've been in is not going to get any better. And suddenly realizing, you know what, I got to change this. So they walk away from something. Okay. They walk away because it is no longer spiritually conducive for them to do what? To learn their lesson, that spiritual growth that they're seeking. So this can sometimes, you know, be about, you know, I've got a big house, I've got a great car, I've got good friends, you know, I've got lots of money in the bank, but that's not enough. I'm missing something in my life. We see on the next row, the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man is the energy of Neptune. And this is Saturn in Pisces, and Pisces is ruled by Neptune. Now, Saturn brings us restrictions. Saturn is about limitations, but Saturn can also be about fear, anxiety, and worry. Saturn is about being cursed at the beginning and then being redeemed, okay? And Pisces is the most karmic sign of them all. It is the last on the wheel. It is the 12th house. So it's the house of self-undoing, secrets, hidden fears. It could rule institutions like mental hospitals, prisons, things of that nature. Here is the Hanged Man. And the Hanged Man says, whatever you have walked away from, you need to stop right now. or you walked away from it because you really are trying to get a better understanding of what is happening. Okay? You see, the hangman can be about sacrifice, sacrificing, giving up something in order to get to the truth of something. Okay? Giving up one thing in order to get to a truth. Okay? The hanged man can also be a martyr. This could be dealing with someone who's always saying, oh, you know, I never get anything back in return from anybody. I'm always doing stuff for everybody and nobody appreciates it, blah, 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 blah. The hanged man can be also about lowering your boundaries and allowing people to come in and take advantage of you or extending yourself too much. But here's the thing about the hanged man. The hanged man placed himself on that cross. That is a cross. Okay. And so maybe instead of looking at the situation, what should be happening is looking at why it is that you have placed yourself on a particular cross. Okay. This is not about bearing a cross. This is about placing yourself in a situation where you are up on a cross. But that's done because you're being suspended, and maybe things are being suspended or things have been put on hold because you're being asked to take a look at that. As you can see, his corona, there's a corona around his head. So this is about him gaining some kind of wisdom and some kind of insight. But the thing also about the hanged man is that the hanged man can be about delusions, illusions, fantasy. And I've begun to notice that sometimes this card can represent the energy of procrastination. Okay. Someone who just put them, okay, I'm just going to take a step and I'm not going to do anything because I'm just not. Okay. So here is the strength card. And again, I find this very fascinating. We have another Namaste, another 8 turned on its side. Okay. Above the strength card. And the strength card speaks about being able to harness all of those animalistic desires, maybe harnessing all of that raw anger, maybe harnessing the fear, harness it, and then try to, and do this gently. And to me, this card always speaks to being gentle with yourself. Harness it, and if you can harness it and contain it and figure out how to work with it, you can really change a situation. As you can see, she is not forcing, she's not beating this lion. She doesn't have a chair and a whip. She simply approaches the lion, looks down, and opens its mouth. Now, and sticks her hand in. So this card is also about taking a risk, because the truth is, she really doesn't know, if that lion's going to gobble her arm up. But because she's able to harness her fear, because she's able to approach in a calm manner, okay, she's going to be able to pry the lion's mouth open and stick her hand in it. So that's about taking a risk. What are you supposed to be taking a risk on? Doing something new. Okay, there's that Page of Pentacles there, and pages bring a new energy. This is a new element being introduced. So for some of you, this could be about a new work. Maybe you've been in the position, or you've been doing what you've been doing for a long time, and even though the money's good, it's just not doing it for you anymore. So you're being asked to suspend whatever it is that's going on, get a real handle on where you're coming from, where are those emotions and those feelings coming from. And then if you can do that, you can figure out something, a new element to be introduced. This could be something, a message coming in for you. It could be meeting someone new. It could definitely be some kind of new idea that sparked, or an idea that you've had for a long time that you had to give up on. You had to walk away from it because, maybe there were other obligations that you had to deal with. But remember, this is thoughts. This is thoughts. Okay. Now, in one respect, I see this Four of Wands, and the Four of Wands in the tarot is known as the marriage card, or the shacking up card, but it is also the card about celebrations. And sometimes this can literally be about a private celebration, maybe with family and friends. And if not with family and friends, because sometimes these two cards together can indicate that it is somebody who feels isolated and alone, then this is about celebrating something yourself. Okay. You don't always need other people to celebrate yourself. And it's a good idea to celebrate yourself. You know, go out and get that pedicure, manicure. Go out and have that massage. Go treat yourself to that movie or that play that you've been wanting to see and celebrate whatever it is that you choose to celebrate. But we can see that there is some confusion here. We have two lemon ascates, and then we have, that's interesting. I just saw that. I have a 10 here. The 8 and the 2 equals a 10. So this is about the end of something coming. That makes it an 11. So whatever this lesson is, it's something major. 11 is a master number. It is the vibration of 2 twice. 1 and 1. And it is never reduced down. So this is something major coming. And with the or presently happening, now this is a different timeline. This is not going to apply to everybody else, but perhaps there's something in this reading that you can take with you moving forward, even if this doesn't apply. The Two of Swords is the card of someone trying to decide what the truth is. Okay, this person feels as though they don't have enough information. Why? Swords. Okay. Or this is about somebody being of two minds about something. Why? Swords. But that person is blindfolded, and you see they're at rest on that bench. And benches in the tarot represent a time of pause and reflection. But look what's out in the water, what the scenery behind her. There's this lake. And I don't know if you can see that, but the water is very, very ripply. So this is an undercurrent of emotions going on. That's what water represents. Okay? It's an undercurrent of water. I'm looking at these Pisces cards here. This could be an undercurrent, some kind of spiritual undercurrent energy that's going on. And then there are these two like rocks that are sitting out that are in a sense kind of laid bare. I'm not exactly sure if I'm supposed to infer that normally they would be covered up and the water would be calm, or if they're sort of like stepping stones and she sits in between these two. She's also holding these two swords. There's another quarter moon there, okay? But she's blindfolded. And what you can't see up close, and I know that's kind of crappy, is one of her eyes, her left eye is not even covered very well. So this could be about either someone actually knowing and seeing what the truth of the situation is, but they can't make a decision. This is about being indecisive. This card can sometimes be about somebody pulling the wool over your eyes, okay? But the truth of the matter is you do have the mental capacity to decide whether or not someone is lying or not. The Two Swords say she's also protecting her heart, okay? And the Two Swords say that, you know, if somebody's lying to you or cheating you or deceiving you, okay, you can take those two swords and chop through that crap. You can chop their head off and you can keep it moving, okay? But it still speaks to an indecision, okay? There's somebody being of two minds about something. And again, it's like a procrastination. It looks like some kind of procrastination technique. Here is the Page of Swords, and we see the Page of Swords looking as if this person is waiting for this person to get up and swing the sword. Okay? Now, the Page of Swords is about communication. So this is about some kind of message coming in. I'm not exactly sure if this is about somebody who wants to move. Six of Swords, the Hanged Man, and the Four of Wands. Someone wanting to move but having to wait to get a new home. And maybe this Two of Swords is they are worried or think that maybe what if this is about a loan coming through. Them being worried that it's not going to work, that they won't get the loan, they're going to be turned down, or that they're not going to get the property perhaps that they want, or that they're not going to be able to move. But we see that there's a message here, okay? Now, this is the future vertical row. And we see that somebody has walked away from something. But here are these two new elements being introduced. It is a new way of doing things and a new way of thinking or communicating. There's a new offer coming in, one that is going to require some new communication or new communication coming in. And this is going to clear that up. But it ends in the Wheel of Fortune. And the thing about, and this is the Jupiter card, and this is a 10, people. That's the end of a cycle. So in other words, whatever this situation is speaking about, it is going to change. Now, the thing about the Wheel of Fortune is that, you know, those people, they was living high on the hog and seemed like they couldn't put a foot wrong. Well, that doesn't last forever, okay? By the same token, if you've been down in the dregs, feeling like you've been on Skid Row, eating out of the trash can, that doesn't last forever. Okay, so the lesson of the wheel is that nothing lasts forever. Nothing is static. So when you're on the top, you're on your way back down. And when you're on the bottom, you're on your way back up. And it's cyclical. So the best way to handle the Wheel of Fortune is to try to fix yourself in the center of the wheel. I just did a post on attachment. And the post talks about how we attach ourselves to people and things. But for me, disappointment comes when we have an attachment to an expectation or an outcome. And so I think the Wheel of Fortune comes in to say to us to not have or not to make expectations, to simply be open to what comes and what goes. If you can do that, this is how you can affix yourself to the wheel and not be too swayed or upside down, you know, regardless of what changes come in. Now, we know that there are some changes that come in through life that really, really, really are major changes, things that maybe make us sad, the loss of someone, an illness of someone, the loss of a job. Yes, we know, but you're being asked in the center here to harness that. If you can control your thoughts, you can control your emotions, and you won't be in this space. I also feel down the center that this is speaking to someone who doesn't want to face whatever it is they have to face. That's what that Two of Swords is telling me. Let's pull some cards, some Sabilas on this. I want to pull cards see, these 2 8s are back to back. Now, in looking at them in the diagonal like they are, she's got her back this way and this person has their back that way. Okay, can you see that? And sometimes this card can be about somebody feeling sorry for themselves or someone turning away some kind of help. Saturn and Pisces, the worst. I have Saturn and Pisces. And the worst of Saturn and Pisces is people who can really turn down a sincere offer of help. And they turn it down because they feel that they're going to be beholden to someone, you know. But this is a karmic situation. I say that because of the Saturn and Pisces and the 2 lemon ascates with the Wheel of Fortune. And there's an old French proverb that says, you can find your destiny on the road that you normally choose to avoid it. So this could be about actually turning back around from this path that you have chosen to avoid something with. You see? Because this is where you're going to find, look, 6 of Swords, Page of Pentacles, 4 of Wands. And that denotes stability and happiness and plenty and balance. It's a 4. Typically you look at the 2s as a balance, but look at the 2 wands on each side with the castle and the couple framed in the center. And that represents Venus in Aries. And this is the time frame of April 11th through the 20th. We have gone through the time of Aquarius. And this is, look at, there's Taurus, there's Leo, that's Scorpio, and that is Aquarius. So we've gone through the time of Aquarius now, and we're rolling around. We're going into Aries, and then we'll be in Taurus. Time frame for Taurus. So this is the wheel coming back around. So this could be about second chances for some of you in some respect. These are all fixed symbols, signs. Aquarius is fixed air. Scorpio is fixed water. Taurus is fixed earth. Leo is fixed fire. So these are fix yourself in the center of the wheel. All right. I'm going to pull cards on this Eight of Cups. And they have different, I think those are, no, they're not all cardinal signs. I don't know, they might be. They're not mutable because they're fixed. Maybe they're all fixed cardinal signs. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have to look that up. And the cardinals are major changes. They represent major changes. Right. So we have someone who, in respect, has walked away from something that a lot of achievement that they've done, that they've created in their life. Okay? But we can see the sospiri, the sighing, the longing. They're wanting, they're deeply desiring something else. But there's limitations. There's the Saturn. And there's the holdup. There are limitations. Well, is it limitations from an outside source, or is it self-limiting? Saturn. Let's take a look at what the Hanged Man is trying to tell us. And then we're going to look at this Two of Swords. Then I'm going to pull you an angel answer card, and we're going to close this down. What's interesting is that it's these two cards here. They are the Six of Swords. Remember I said it was just the weirdest line. They are both leaving. But it's a mental, psychological moving away or running away, and an emotional moving away or running away. And I think, again, this is perhaps why the Magician, because if you can control your thoughts, if you can control your emotions, you can fix yourself on the wheel. And maybe this is the lesson that somebody has to learn. Okay? And maybe this is saying that that's the message that's going to come, and it's going to clear this up for somebody. If they choose. That's the Wheel of Fortune. Everybody has free will. If they choose. So this could go either way. That Two of Swords is just so odd there. I want to look at the Hanged Man. A letter. So we're waiting again. We're waiting on some kind of news. Now, the Superbia. Come back to that. And the Donna de Servizio. Now, the letter. And that's just what it is. Now, these are 14th century cards, so there were no emails and text messages and, Skype and any of those things. But now we're going to include that. So this is some type of communication, but it sits in the past position. Okay? Someone putting a stop or closing themselves off. They place themselves on this cross in terms of communicating. Now, the superbia, the peacock, the meaning of this card is arrogance, vanity, hubris, perhaps hedonism, okay? Being haughty. In other words, this is speaking about someone who perhaps maybe feels that they are maybe morally superior, or perhaps this could be some type of religious or philosophical. They think that they're, so they place themselves up above. But then we have the donna de servizio. And remember, I was just telling you that sometimes there are people who can really turn away help, help that really comes from because it is someone who, let's say you owe somebody. This is about psychic, karmic credits and debts becoming due, okay? And someone shows up in your life and they offer to help you. But for whatever reason, the person, that's Saturn, fear energy, they turn it down. Why? Because they fear being beholden, when really the person is there to simply help. They don't want anything else from you, but only to help. That is the energy of the donna de servizio. She's positive and she's always a helper. Now, at the same time, I'm going to have to say that perhaps this is speaking to some kind of male. There's a lot of, male energy here. But at the same time, we know that the male peacock is the most proudest, but peacocks are also very fierce, okay? And they are the most beautiful. So I kind of think that this is having some kind of male energy. Now, we can, even Leo, even though this is a female here, it represents Leo, the lion, and the lion, the Leo is represented by the sun, and that is masculine energy. So that sits in the center. Even though maybe this is about some kind of female coming in to help temper that or to assist in that. She's coming in a sense to kind of tame the beast. Let's take a look at this Two of Swords. So I think that the news, an offer has come in to help or to assist in some way. Maybe this is about somebody being too proud to accept. But who can't use help and assistance in life? Everyone can. And I think it takes a stronger person to admit that than it does for somebody to foolishly try to continue to do something on their own and they're not getting anywhere. And that could also be that card. Let's take a look at this Two of Swords, what this is telling us. Ah, another letter. The Messaggere. Now, this is about a letter coming from far away. A message, but it doesn't say if the message is good or bad. Well, now it does. See, whatever that message is, we have anxiety and the tears, the dispiacere, worry, anxiety, the tears. And the Yardro, the thief. And that's a negative change coming, someone coming in and stealing from you. This could be theft of goods or services. But as I say, people can steal all kinds of things from you. You can replace watches and television sets. You can even replace cars. Yeah, it sucks that somebody steals it from you, but that shit's, you can replace that crap. What you can't sometimes replace is the theft of your love, your attention, your trust, your faith, your hope. Sometimes people can do things or say things or treat you in such a way that some people never recover from that. Sad but true. Well, but maybe there's a message coming in that's going to change that. So, whatever question was not answered in this spread, I want you to formulate the question in your mind, and I'm going to pull one angel answer card. You know, ultimately, I think even with that last set of 3 cards, the Messaggere, the Dispiacere, you know, and that 2 of Swords could either be someone thinking that it's always going to be that way, or someone not sure that the situation may change. That could play out in many ways. Ultimately, wow, that just flew out of the deck. Ultimately, it comes down to right thinking, right speech, right thought, right action. And by right, I mean trying to remove the expectations and to maintain a positive, open kind of a attitude. The card that flew out was within the next few months for some of you. Now, I'm going to pull one more card. Because obviously somebody needed to hear that. So go ahead and formulate. For those of you that was not the answer, formulate your question, and we're going to pull one card here. This one. And that's what I have for you. Thank you for joining me. And until a few days, I suppose. I don't even know what day it is. Namaste.